So we've got Muktinath Prabhu here, and we've got a small crew at the moment, and it's 4 minutes into the program. Maybe some others will come in. Maybe they're all exhausted after partying so much for all these festivals we've been having. And yesterday, is it yesterday? Was Vishwarup Mahotsav or the day before?
Oh, it was yesterday. For us, yesterday.
Ah, yeah. So for us, it's the day before. Yeah. So I expect you also read about Vishwarup in the Chaitanya Bhagavat. Chaitanya Bhagavat, Adi Leela, chapter number 11, perhaps. Chaitanya Bhagavat. I'm looking right now. Yeah, Adi Leela, chapter number something. The thing is, I've gone beyond it now. So, I mean, not beyond it means read that chapter and then kept on going because we find Chaitanya Bhagavat, Chaitanya Charitamrita, we find these books unputdownable. Once you start to read, then we keep on going. So I'm actually on reading chapter 9 of Adi Leela. So I expect it was chapter 7 of Adi Leela. But just look in there of the Chaitanya Bhagavat, and there you will find some very nice description of Vishwarup. Vishwarup Mahotsav is when Vishwarup took sannyas, and the description of his taking sannyas is, I mean, his leaving home, etc. And there must have been quite a gap of age between Vishwarup and his younger brother, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I mean, Nimai, Gauranga Sundar, because Vishwarup, he would, it's described there very beautifully, of course, how he would go to Advaita-acharya's home, and he didn't ever want to leave. He's just so happy there, chanting, hearing, talking topics about Krishna, Hare Katha. And then Mother Sachi would cook, and then she would send young Nimai to go to call Vishwarup and say, come, your lunch is ready, don't delay. And so he said that Nimai, like very young, he's going there dressed only in the directions would go to, which means not wearing any clothes. He would go and call Vishwarup from Advaita-acharya's house. So he must have been, I mean, if we think about our regular world, he must have been something like 3 years or 4, maybe 4 years old or something like that, maybe 3. Even a 4-year-old probably would dress with something, but a 3-year-old going to collect Vishwarup, who must have been at least teenager, one would think by the sounds of the description, something like 18 or 20, because soon after that is when the Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Devi start to think about his marriage. They say, oh, we're going to arrange your marriage. And that's when Vishwarup left and took sannyas. And everybody heartbroken, including young Nimai. But then Nimai, he consoled his mother and father. And from that time on, it said that he stopped his naughty behavior and became, because he was very naughty before, just like Krishna was very naughty. Then he stopped his naughty behavior and then started to be very attentive to his mother, and especially to his mother, and console her at all times, be nearby, so that she missed Vishwarup less. Anyhow, this description is there. And then, as Nimai is very young, then continuing the descriptions of young Nimai's pastimes at home, etc. So anyway, yes, unputdownable. This is how we feel when we start to read these things. But that expression, I don't know if Chinmoy saw those adverts, so perhaps a little bit before, but in Calcutta, they had, like in quite a lot of places, but they had on that VIP road, and we drive up and down that VIP road near Dum Dum Park, our temple, ashram in Calcutta. They had those hoarding signs, the advertisements, or they say advertisements maybe in America. Anyway, adverts, that'll get over it. They had these adverts for the the Telegraph newspaper, and it would have the Telegraph written in the way it writes the Telegraph, said, then simply had the word unputdownable, unputdownable. But actually, you see, it's very putdownable. It's like completely rejectable. But yet, the advertising world, the commercial world, they use expressions which apply to devotional things. So they may have pointed out the word unputdownable, but it applies to the scripture.
Maharaj,
Hare Krishna. Yes.
we just had a Chaitanya Charitamrita class with Jai Ram yesterday, and we talked about, it was the part of Chaitanya Charitamrita where Mahaprabhu was making his travels in South India, and he comes across Sri Rangapuri, who had the association of Vishwarup.
Okay.
And he gave his sannyas name. He was living in where he left his body was somewhere down in South India.
Right, it mentions that place. His sannyas name was Shankara-rasa-sata-dusani. Shankara-rasa-sata. And this was Mahaprabhu's pretext for going to South India in the first place. He is saying, oh, I need to try to find my brother. But at that time, as is pointed out by Krishnadas Kaviraj, he knew his brother already had departed this world. He'd had his pastimes here. But it was his pretext, as I'm going to South India for this. But with that pretext, and as we know, Chaitanya Charitamrita describing, he went to all the holy places, left and right, here and there, uncountable holy places, in order to purify them. Because the people naturally go to the pilgrimage places, but Mahaprabhu went there in order to purify those places and in order to distribute Krishna Prema, the next installment of Krishna consciousness, God consciousness. Because South India actually was the home for the pure devotees. And it is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, perhaps. It is certainly mentioned that it says that practically all those born near these particular rivers in South India will be Vaishnavas. And we see until today that Vaishnava tendency in South India. There'll be devotees. But of course, they're not devotees of what Mahaprabhu is distributing Caliber, which reminds us again, and Brihad Bhagavatamritam reminds us again. You know, there's so many wonderful things. Devotion is always wonderful. Devotion to the Lord, as Ramachandra, as Vishnu, Nrsingadev, all of this is always perfect and wonderful. But the wonders increase, increase, increase. And this is what Mahaprabhu gave, the wonder of wonders, if you like. So Mahaprabhu went to South India on the pretext of searching for Vishwarup, but his actual mission was to distribute Krishna Prema to the clean-hearted persons. All right, so that's the Vishwarup Mahotsav. And now, no feasts for a long time, because that's the end of the 1 month long festival. And then soon, I don't have it in front of me, but soon the month of Purushottam is coming, which is an extra month, and which Guru Maharaj and Gurudev talk about. But because the materialists find the month of Purushottam inauspicious for doing materialistic things, then the devotees are very happy because they can do devotional things without being disturbed. And when does Purushottam come? Well, 27th is Ekadashi.
Ekadashi.
But we'll have to find out. Okay, I'll do a little research, or maybe Chinmoy Defu, you're very efficient at this. Maybe you can point out the exact date it begins. Anyhow, it's after the 14th of September and before the 27th of September. Somewhere in the middle there, the month of Purushottam begins, but we should find the exact dates, and then devotees can also consider it a blessing month, a month of blessing. I mean, auspiciousness. And you know, the Purushottam month is something equivalent in the Western lunar calendar. We have the leap year because there are, you know, the 30 days, 31 days, and then in February, 28 days, and then every 4 years is the 29th day. So this is what the month of Purushottam is. It comes from the lunar calendar, but because there's some extra days somewhere, then not every year, but sometimes there's this extra month. But there is an article, I'll find it and post it about that. Month of Purushottam. Oh yes, in the chat box.
It starts on the 27th, but then it says after the 14th
Yeah,
is
but
the
it
second half.
it doesn't say it starts on the 27th. 27th is already in the month, so we'll find it on the calendar. But anyway, it's not yet. But anyhow, I'm just giving general expression of why there are no festivals. But it is a mystery to me. I know somebody can answer it because there's a reason for everything. But it's the Lord's will that during the Purushottam month, every time it comes up throughout all of our years, we see there's no appearance or disappearance days in Purushottam month. As they say in America, go figure. So does that mean you can do something dangerous during this month? I don't think so. I don't think that the records in the hospitals are going to show that, oh, nobody dies during this month and nobody's born. One of those mysteries. Anyway, we're very few this week, unusually less, but I hope everyone's all right. Oh, everybody isn't all right. One devotee's uncle just passed away of the virus. Meanwhile, other people are passing away of other things, by the way, all the time. But what was surprising to me was that she told it was quite a distressing time for the family because none of the family could be with that person. So they were like in a isolation clinical ward for 2 weeks or something, and then in intensive machinery. But all this time they cannot have any visit from their relatives, which I thought was a little heartless. But anyway, it's a reminder, we cannot tell how we will leave the world. And maybe it's Kulashekar, it's one of the great souls is making a prayer to the Lord. Oh, while my mind is there at your lotus feet, now I'm thinking of you, but I'm in this body. I pray that I can leave my body like now. Please take me quickly while my mind is like firmly at your lotus feet, because I do not know at the time of death what my circumstances will be. But now I'm ready. Take me now. This kind of expression was by one of those great acharyas, giving us the example of how we need to be ready, prepared in our journey onwards for the next chapter of the book, or the next canto of our life. The thing is, we don't have only 12 cantos like Srimad Bhagavatam, we have millions of cantos. And we think someone's thrown away the previous cantos, but they're there for the reading by Yamaraj and his associates. They can see everything we've done in the past. And some things we read, but we don't necessarily, we just read it and it goes through. But one thing I read, we've all read many times, but it struck me just this reading a few days ago. I was reading, and it says how Krishna, he knows everything that's going on in our mind. And he knows past, present, future. Okay, we hear all this, but in what I was reading says, Krishna knows everything that's going on in everybody's body and mind. Then I thought, oh, body and mind. So we need to surrender to Krishna in all circumstances. All right. Well, for the last maybe 3 or 4 or 5 sessions, we've been saying, well, we have this What's it? Prakrta-rasa-sata-dusani of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And the link you've given before, I can give the link here in the chat box. And this is not something we're going to sit and scrutinize every point, but really it is very good for us to be aware of this and go through at least once and more than once in our lifetime, to go through again and again, because Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he came to give the pure Krishna prema, pure Krishna consciousness, as presented by Mahaprabhu, Rupa Goswami, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, etc. But he told himself that he gave whatever the figure was, like 99% of his energy he's giving to show what is not Krishna consciousness. And it is eternally applicable. It's as applicable now as it was when Srila Saraswati Thakur was present. Now, let me just bring it up. I need spectacles too for this, I'm afraid. No, I'm not afraid, just being realistic. So, Prakrta-rasa-sata-dusani. It's 100 points. How is it translated at the top? 100 refutations of mundane rasa. And rasa means basically tastes, and they use the word mellows, etc. in translation. But it is one of those words that we just need to know what it is. Like Leela. Leela gets translated as pastimes. But Gurudev didn't really like the word pastimes, and he discussed it, because in India, they even have a biscuit called pastime. And you've probably seen it, may have seen it in the shops, except you don't go shopping for biscuits and things. I know, you only do devotional shopping. But you do see it in the shops. It's called pastime, which means just, some casual thing like playing cards or something. But words that come up all the time, like Leela and Rasa, we should just kind of capture their meaning and use the original word, just like we use karma. Or is it every time we use karma, instead of using karma, action and reaction, what are we going to say? Oh, it's my reactions to my actions. No, we say karma, because nobody's figured out an English word quite the same. Anyway, what I thought, we're just a handful. Oh, my nose. We are just a handful today. But let us read through this. We can share. We can read 5, 5, 5 if you like. And if that's acceptable to you, this way, by reading and by hearing, then we have some, some kind of awareness of these points. And they're not all easy to understand. And some of them are quite sort of Indian-centered in a way, because of, what the Sahajism and all these things that go on in India. But as we have pointed out, some of the devotees, not our devotees, hopefully, well, some of our devotees, I suppose, but some of those leaders of ISKCON, they were going to the Sahajiya people, thinking, oh, they're going to give something more than Srila Prabhupada gave. But this is a very dangerous path to take. And at least Chinmoy Dev and myself, out of each of us, and maybe yourself, Praneshri Devi, we've heard direct from the horse's mouth, means directly from Gurudev, like this, the not only danger, but practically suicidal to do such a thing, to try to think, oh, I'll get something more by going to those who are basically imitating, doing mundane things in the name of what is devotional, the high devotional path. So let us give our obeisances, actually first to each other, because we didn't do our formal beginning. We thought others would join. So let's give obeisances to each other. Then we can chant the minimum, our mini Vandanam, but with Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's pranam today. And then we'll read these, and we can, what do you think? We read 5 each. and then we'll go around and around. Just the English. Okay, so first one, Om together. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Anmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Then let us chant Srila Saraswati Thakur's. What's the first line? Shri Siddhanta Saraswati iti Vidito Gauriya Gurvanvaye Bhato Bhanuriva Prabhata Gagane Yogora Sankirtanai Mayavada Timingilo Daragatan Udritya Jivaniman Krishna Prema Sudaptikahan Asukam Pradak Prabhum Tang Bhaje. Okay, then Pancha Kalpaturubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gora Tvije Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, and Muktinath Prabhu is here with me. I'm just typing in the there on Skype. You have what we are about to read. All right. So, are you all with the file and queued up onto number 1? So Jai Shila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki Jai, Jai Shila Gurudev ki Jai, Jai Shila Guru Maharaj ki Jai, Jai Shri Rupanuga Guru Vaga ki Jai. All right, so let us come to here. Okay, so I'll begin. So number 1, oh brother, rasa, and I hope we know anyway, rasa with a long A is the rasa dance of Krishna and the gopis. Rasa with a short A is mellows. I mean, it is how it's mood, feeling, all these things. So, oh brother, rasa never arises from material endeavors. Pure devotees do not sing about mundane material rasa. All the songs on the radio. Okay, next. A disciple does not desire alms in the form of teachings about mundane rasa. A guru does not give rasa that is devoid of rati. And just above, we can get rati, a synonym for bhava or sthayi bhava. And bhava is the stages of higher stages of spiritual rasa. After nishta, this maybe we covered a little bit before. After nishta, when we are 100% engaged in continuous remembrance of the Lord. So these words are coming up always. So a guru does not give rasa, that is devoid basically of spiritual content. Okay, number 3. So we just need to hear this. It doesn't mean we're going to fully understand everything. But
Maharaj?
Yes.
You kind of cut out for me for a little bit, but rati you're saying is defined as spiritual substance.
Yeah, just above, rati is saying it's a synonym for the word bhava. And bhava is spiritual, what's going to say, emotion, spiritual rasa, which only comes after the stage of nishta. And this we covered previously, fairly recently, about after nishta, then we can rely on our spiritual mood, relationship. So bhava means it's purely spiritual rasa. So a guru does not give rasa that is devoid of rati, which is, as we saw, a synonym for bhava. So of spiritual matters. So he's not giving mundane, oh, you'll be happy mundane-wise this way, or mundane relationship. So let us catch what we can as we go through. Number 3, a devotee never considers the name and rasa two different things. A devotee never says it's a difference between the name and rasa, spiritual and spiritual. So we'll just catch it. So we see this science, and it's for us to, consider, rather than we're going to memorize 100 points and then test each other on the 100 points. Okay, number 4. Jai Shiv. Oh, we're getting a good crowd this side. Paramananda Prabhu has just joined us. So they're all early birds. The crowds are gathering. The birds, the Vaishnava birds are gathering together. So please have a beanbag. The name manifests to those who, what? The name never manifests to those who have the mentality of I and mine. If one does not give up the enjoying mentality, transcendence does not manifest. And we all love the pastimes of Nrsingadev, and Prahlad Maharaj, he makes this point of I and mine. This is the source of our misery in this world, he says, Prahlad Maharaj. Okay, number 5. Krishna is not served by mundane material enjoyment, and material objects never become supra-mundane. Okay, we just have to think about this, because we know material objects can be utilized in Krishna's service. All right, that's my 5. Now I'm going to ask Chinmoy Dev Prabhu, from 6 to 10, please, you read for us. And as much as possible, read with understanding, then we'll hear.
Okay. Number 6, spirit never manifests in the presence of matter, and a devotee never says material objects become spiritual. Number 7, a devotee never engages in enjoyment of material objects. Material enjoyment and service to Krishna are never the same thing. Number 8, a devotee never says desire for one's own enjoyment is prema. A guru does not tell a disciple, you are absorbed in rasa. Number 9, a guru never says, I am absorbed in rasa. A guru does not discuss material rasa with a disciple. Number 10, no one ever attains good fortune by singing about material rasa. A devotee never sings of Krishna being mundane. So
Okay.
they're definitely making Srila Saraswati Thakur is making a difference between material rasa and spiritual rasa. So rasa can have both meanings.
Because it is like, okay, brother, sister, mother, son, I mean, on all these things. It is these departments, but we know prakrita and aprakrita. And aprakrita particularly doesn't just mean spiritual, it means looking like mundane, but the opposite. But Srila Saraswati Thakur, like making these points like very emphatically, and remember who's speaking this. I mean, who's presenting this? Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Lion Guru. This isn't written quickly, it's forcefully. Excuse me?
Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur have very nice shloka on rasa subject, stating what is mundane, what is not mundane.
Okay, well, maybe we can come to this. we're going through now this 100 points. We're up to 10 now. Praneshwari Revidasi, please give us 11 to 15 and try to understand. I mean, as we can, we try to understand. It's a bit technical, but making the points for us. Yes.
Okay. 11. A pure devotee doesn't think Krishna is material or say the name is mundane. They do not recognize a distinction between rasa, the name, and Krishna. Number 12. A guru doesn't teach that there is a distinction between rasa and the name, and it is not that one will attain rasa and afterwards take up sadhana. 13. Rasa doesn't arise from the name on the false path. The name of Krishna doesn't, in reverse order, arise from rasa.
What number is that one?
13. Number 13. Rasa does not arise from the name on the false path. The name of Krishna does not, in reverse order, arise from rasa.
Okay.
Number 14. Rati and Shraddha never arise from rasa. A devotee doesn't sing of anything other than Rati that has arisen from Shraddha.
We mentioned what is Rati before.
And the last one for me is 15. A pure devotee doesn't speak of anything other than rasa based on Rati. A guru never says there is Rati and rasa in the stage of sadhana.
Hare Krishna. So let's catch what we can with these.
But can we discuss? Can we? Or we read all of them?
Let's read all of it. If there's
Okay.
something that's very, very troubling you, you can ask and we can try to discuss.
Okay.
Maybe, Rupanuga Prabhu, are you available for reading? Maybe not. Maybe not.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm driving.
Oh, you're driving. Okay, drive safely, Rupanuga Prabhu. Okay, good to see you. We're
But
here with...
you have devotees around you so they can read as well?
He's in the car. Oh,
No, the devotees with you.
Oh, yes, I have. So Paramananda Prabhu, number 16, and he's near enough the microphone.
Number 16. A guru does not say that the guru does not say that the state reached in the stage of bhava bhakti arises prior to the stage of sadhana. Raganuga bhakti does not develop from faith based on scriptural regulations. The next one is, when the sprout of bhava arises, regulations withdraw. Developed rati does not arise only by faith in Raganuga bhakti. A Raganuga bhakta never says that undeveloped rati is realized bhava, and they do not say that sadhakas have developed bhava. A Raganuga bhakta does not say that sadhakas have attained rasa. The perfected bhava of Raganuga bhakti does not arise without rati. With the arrival of the sprout of bhava, Vaidhi bhakti withdraws. A Raganuga bhakta never think ruchi and rati are one and the same.
That's it, 25. We're doing 5 each at the moment. Well, not quite back to basics in the sense of these are very technical things. But what is the back to basics part is the emphasis of Srila Saraswati Thakur clearly clearly expressing what is spiritual, what isn't spiritual. And what he's coming to throughout all of this too is the fakeness of gurus coming to say they are oh, I'm going to give you your Manjari Bhava, which is what we hear about from different quarters and things like this. I'm going to give you your female young girl identity, for then you practice doing this, and then your mentality will become like that and you'll be spiritual. It's the opposite thing. So actually, whenever I read this, I'd always get some like inspiration for the right thing, but maybe it's a bit heavy for us reading these things now. But I think we continue to go through and basically as a reading, catch what we can. And it reminds me of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, because Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it's listing so many things like the stages and what comes first, second. You can't have the second without the first, and step by step by step. And for us to understand or to memorize, etc., all of these things, unless you're kind of very scholar, very difficult. But we see clearly that there is a science. There is a science that, just like in this material world, we know the science. The mundane science produces all sorts of amazing things. There is a science of our spiritual life. It's not as somehow or another we've been using the word wishy-washy. We've been using this word the last week or so. I don't know why, but it's not a wishy-washy thing. It's somebody's idea. It's so scientific. And Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Srila Prabhupada has given us as the nectar of devotion. It is, very tricky in lots of places, but the science is known by those who are specialists in the science. And similarly with this, Srila Saraswati Thakur, by reading this, we have to understand the science is known. So let us continue. And I think not to spend not to get too tripped up on many things, but we'll catch what we can and go through. Okay, so I think we all know Raganuga Bhakti. Raganuga means spontaneous, but spontaneous in genuine spontaneity, not just as we know from Upadeshamritam of Rupa Goswami, not just abandoning all the advices and rules and regulations, but actually Raganuga Bhakti is when the heart is automatically drawn in pure devotion to spontaneous devotional service. Okay. So, Muktinath Prabhu, you going to read for us?
No, I have no.
No. Huh?
No, I have no text.
Okay, I sent you the link, but maybe not. Okay, so I'll continue. A Raganuga Bhakta does not think that just by saying Raganuga Bhakti, one has attained rasa. And a Raganuga Bhakta never says someone who needs to be purified by regulations is a Raganuga Bhakta. There. No one feels the sprout of bhava. Okay. No one feels the sprout of bhava prior to the stage of sadhana bhakti. Rati never arises if one has not given up faith in the mundane. Rati never arises if one has not given up faith in the mundane. Next, verse 23. If developed bhava has not arisen, one cannot become a rasika. And if one does not give up mundane bhava, one cannot become a rasika. 24. Without rati, there is no attainment of rasa, the foremost wealth. One cannot attain it. One cannot attain it by not climbing. Oh, I understand. One cannot attain it by not climbing the tree and simply crying at the bottom. This is like looking at the good fruits that are on the tree. One cannot just sit at the bottom of the tree and look at those fruits crying, oh, that fruit, that fruit. One has to climb the tree to get the fruit. This is what's being given here. Okay, 25. Rasa does not arise when anarthas are present in one's sadhana. False rasa does not arise in the chanting of the name in the stage of bhava. Okay, Chinmoy Dev Prabhu, yours. Help us. Help us to understand by you understanding as much as possible as you speak.
Well, I think we have someone with us who may understand. Jivana has just joined us.
Oh, Jivana's joined. An auspicious time. The arrival of Jivana Devidasi.
Super late. I'm just escaping real quick from work to hear something real in my life.
Okay, let us greet you, give obeisances, and offer you a prasadam flower, Jivana. Here, have a prasadam flower.
All right, great.
All right. Okay, so Chinmoy Dev, we're just reading through the 100 refutations against mundane rasa, mundane mellows, if you like. So now Chinmoy Dev was on number 26, I think.
Number 26. If one does not know Siddhanta, the mind does not become attached to Krishna. Those who lack Sambandha Gyan never succeed in Abhideya.
Sambandha Gyan being knowing the relationship of the Jiva soul with the Lord.
Yes. Number 27. Those who lack Sambandha Gyan do not attain Prayojan. Those who are preoccupied with misconception do not serve Krishna. 28. Those who are lazy about learning Siddhanta do not give up their anarthas. They confuse Krishna with matter and do not engage in Krishna's service.
Yeah.
29. A devotee never thinks Krishna's name is material. If one's anarthas have not gone away, Krishna's form does not reveal himself through the name.
Therefore, anatta nivriti, then nishta, then the bhavas. Yes.
Number 30. If one's anarthas have not gone away, Krishna's qualities cannot be understood through the name. If one's anarthas have not gone away, there is no service to Krishna through the name.
Hare Krishna. And anarthas, everyone knows, I think, who are with us, the unwanted, dirty things in our heart, the selfish things, ultimately. All right, 31, Paneshwari Devidasi.
Revelation of Krishna's form, qualities, and pastimes does not occur without the name. Krishna's name does not manifest from his form, qualities, or pastimes. 32. A guru never says there is revelation of Krishna's name from his form. A guru never says there is revelation of Krishna's name from his qualities. 33. A follower of Sri Rupa doesn't say that there is revelation of Krishna's name from Krishna's pastimes. A follower of Sri Rupa does not say the name and the named, Krishna himself, are two different things. 34. A follower of Sri Rupa does not say first rasa, then rati. A guru never says first rasa, then shraddha. And 35. A follower of Sri Rupa does not say first rati, then shraddha. A follower of Sri Rupa does not say one can reach perfection by giving up the gradual path.
All right, Paramanandapu, 36 to 40.
A follower of Sri Rupa does not reject the path of great souls and run down a new path. The name never manifests in the midst of offenses. A devotee never thinks the name is something mundane. A devotee never chants the name with offenses.
Hare Krishna.
A follower of Sri Rupa does not think the name is material. A follower of Sri Rupa does not think Krishna's form is mundane. A follower of Sri Rupa does not think Krishna's qualities are mundane, and they do not consider Krishna's associates and unique characteristics to be material. A follower of Sri Rupa does not say that Krishna's pastimes are comparable to material affairs. Krishna never becomes an object of enjoyment for anyone other than himself.
Do not consider that matter is anything other than an anatta. Do not think Krishna is present in rasa, that is under the sway of material attachment. Never say that Krishna's name or Krishna's form are material. Never say that Krishna's qualities or Krishna's pastimes are material. Do not confuse Krishna with an anatta in the form of matter. Do not think Krishna's name, form, or qualities are material. Do not consider Krishna's name, form, qualities, or pastimes material. Never say material names, forms, or qualities are Krishna. Do not chant anything other than the supramundane name, free from matter. Do not see anything other than the supramundane form of Krishna, free from matter. Chinmadefu.
Number 46.
46, yes, from.
Do not hear about anything other than the supermundane qualities of Krishna, free from matter. Do not serve anything other than the supermundane pastimes of Krishna, free from matter. 47. While anarthas remain, do not take pleasure in material forms. While anarthas remain, do not associate with material qualities. 48. While anarthas remain, do not enjoy material pastimes. While anarthas remain, do not give up the pure name. 49. While anarthas remain, do not sing about rasa. While anarthas remain, do not say that you have attained perfection. 50. While anarthas remain, do not sing about the Lord's pastimes. Once anarthas have ceased, one does not say the name is material.
Pranashri?
51. Once anarthas have ceased, one does not see the Lord's form to be material. Once anarthas have ceased, one does not understand the Lord's qualities to be material. 52. Once anarthas have ceased, one does not participate in mundane pastimes. A guru following Sri Rupa does not abuse their disciples. 53. A devotee never rejects their guru and desires the mundane. A guru never criticizes the path of the great soul. 54. There are never any differences between the statements of a guru and the great soul. A true guru does not put thorns on the path of sadhana. And 55, a follower of Sri Rupa does not neglect to consider the qualification of others and does not give instructions about rasa to servants who are ridden with anartha.
It was 56.
56.
Will be. A follower of Sri Rupa does not recite verses of Srimad Bhagavatam and then misinterpret them. A follower of Sri Rupa does not reject the gradual path to amass followers. A follower of Sri Rupa does not climb up the tree and forcibly grab the fruit.
So clarification of 56, the translation wording needs a comma or something. A follower of Sri Rupa does not reject the gradual path in order to amass followers. Yeah, okay, sorry. Because I was trying to...
He doesn't buy the promotion on Instagram, let's just say.
Promotional Instagram. Okay, hey, Instagram's not mentioned in these. Okay, next. So 57.
Okay, 57 is a follower of Sri Rupa does not climb up the tree and forcibly grab the fruit. A follower of Sri Rupa does not abolish the gradual path. Next verse. A follower of Sri Rupa does not consider anarthas to be one's desired end. A follower of Sri Rupa does not consider mundane imitationism or Prakrta-rasa-sata-dusani to be supramundane. The next verse is, if their anarthas have not gone away, a follower of Sri Rupa does not say a disciple has developed rati. A follower of Sri Rupa does not speak about the science of rasa with a disciple ridden with anarthas. 60. A follower of Sri Rupa does not discuss rasa with someone who is incapable and of soft faith. A follower of Sri Rupa does not try to give the qualification for rasa to those who are unqualified.
A follower of Sri Rupa never thinks Vaidhi bhaktas are Raganuga bhaktas. Vaidhi, following the rules, regulations, but the structure of, the fixed things every day. A follower of Sri Rupa never thinks those with soft faith are rasikas. A follower of Sri Rupa never thinks those who have a little faith have developed rati, and does not instruct those who have little faith about rasa. One who has developed the rati does not give up the association of those who have strong faith, and never gives rasa to or serves those who have soft faith. One who has developed rati does not engage in material pleasures for the sake of Krishna's service, and once rasa has arisen within them, they do not consider any soul to be a disciple. The best rasika bhaktas never make disciples and do not give up the mentality that they are never make disciples and do not give up the mentality that they are the disciple of a rasika bhakta. Chinmaydeshu, 66.
66. If one gives up sadhana, bhava does not arise. And even if one knows a raganuga bhakta, one does not give up one's sadhana.
There.
57. If bhava has not arisen, then rasa will never arise. It is not that rasa arises first and then rati arises. 68. It is not that rati arises first and then shraddha arises. It is not that one attains one's desired rasa and then takes up sadhana. 69. Without bringing together the necessary ingredients, stahi bhava does not arise. In the absence of stahi bhava, one does not become immersed in rasa. 70. A mind immersed in enjoyment and faith in the mundane do not manifest spirit. If one does not develop faith in the name, one will not give up one's mundane mentality.
71.
I can just mention there that sthāyi bhava, looking at the glossary at the beginning, it says it's the foundational rati for Krishna, which has any one of 5 primary forms: Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhura. That's Sthayi Bhava, foundational rati for Krishna, which has one of the 5 primary forms. So I was reminding myself what is Sthayi Bhava and sharing that reminder with you all. Yes, what number are we on now, Pranashri?
71.
Okay, yes.
If one does not give up one's mundane mentality, the name does not bless them. And if the name does not bless them, the Lord's pastimes cannot be heard.
Hare Krishna.
72. If one thinks the name is mundane, material desires do not go away. If one considers the Lord's form mundane, material desires do not go away. If one considers the Lord's qualities mundane, material desires do not go away. If one feels the Lord's pastimes with the mundane, material desires do not go away. The Lord's form does not manifest through the name when one is covered over by the mundane. The Lord's qualities do not manifest through the name when one is covered over by the mundane. And the Lord's pastimes do not manifest when one is covered over by material enjoyment. And 75 is rasa is not attained when one is covered over by offenses. The name never manifests when one is covered over by offenses.
76.
76. When one is covered over, material desires do not go away through songs about Lord's pastimes. When one is covered over by offenses, one does not attain one's spiritual form. If one does not listen with an ear that is an instrument for service, one attains nothing. The Lord's pastimes cannot be heard with a body that is an instrument for the mundane. If one is inclined towards service, one does not engage in mundane discussion. If one is inclined otherwise, one never listens to the spiritual discussion.
Oh,
It is ending
that's
right there.
it ends there. Oh dear.
A work in progress.
No, there must be more somewhere. Has anybody found the next part of this?
It looks like it ends.
It says weekly updates.
There must be more. There's more to life than this.
There is, because it mentions it's 100.
Yeah.
I'm looking on the online database, but it's not here either.
Certainly exists.
Well, my internet, is my internet remarkably slow, or what has happened?
Not in the database.
Okay, wow. Well, I do have another copy of it.
Perfect.
But it's going to be from a different source. Oh dear. Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Somebody chant the name of the Lord for us for a minute.
Hare Krishna. Govinda, Govinda.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Lord Nityananda is by your side, so you will find it.
Lord Nityananda is by my side. Oh, well, I tell you something. How is it? I downloaded it. Downloaded it. One moment. I got a clue how to find it. PDF.
I joined late, so what is it that we're reading?
The file I sent you on your phone, on WhatsApp. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that you sent me last week?
Yep, but
Okay.
this version in our our premadharma.org
Hmm.
is not complete.
Okay.
Okay, I have it here. So what number did we get to? 17 what?
76. Oh,
70 how
78.
many? What's the next verse that we need?
79.
Okay, so oh no, it ends here on 78. Oh, I tell you what, it must be 78 verses, but then within some of these verses, there are more than one point in some of these verses.
Oh.
Okay, so it does end on 78 because I have another one here. So this isn't that it's, okay, understand. So we read it all, and at least once to read it all. Then, as we said, the science of all of this is there, and it is the big warning. When you go down here, we know that where some devotees unfortunately have gone to think they're going to get something more, after Srila Prabhupada, then you can practically tick off, list, tick, 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 what they're doing. And if you just be aware of these 100 warnings against the mundane rasas, then, we even more makes us very firm and fixed at the lotus feet of Gurudev and Guru Maharaj. And this actually is the whole success of our life, is to be fixed in the right place and not to be tempted to read anything or hear anything from those people who go there. And as we said at the beginning, Chinmoy Devu, and here Paramananda is with me. All three of us have certainly heard from the lotus lips of Gurudev repeatedly different, like so heavy things about this mundane, wrong direction in order to, doing these things in order to get name and fame or this, that, and the other. Whatever the motive is, that it is not only dangerous, it is suicidal to do so. Just as Mahaprabhu tells, don't read Shankaracharya's commentaries, because, why is he saying it? Because you'll be damaged by that. And then our sweet devotees saying, oh, I can read Shankaracharya's commentary. Now I'm qualified, I can read his commentary. Now I'm qualified, now I'm a Rasika Bhakta. All very dangerous. So to know the caution is a very good way for us to solidify our faith, our chastity, our line of where we are getting our nourishment from. And where we are getting our nourishment from, as Gurudev points out, that is more than sufficient for us. More than sufficient.
Maharaj?
Yes.
So can we have the order? First is Shraddha. Is Shraddha the beginning point? And then Nishta? Is it Nishta next? Ruchi, Bhava, Prema?
We have it, and probably we covered this recently. Don't you have that easily, Praneshwari?
I missed it.
No, Maharaj. I'm looking in the last classes, but I don't recall the class where you mentioned this.
Where is that list?
Right.
Oh, Radha, Nishta, Rasa.
Yeah, but we have to get it.
Oh,
We have to get it right. Okay, we're looking it up, but not Veda, sorry. Okay, so I want to give it to you correctly, not incorrectly. But one of them certainly is anatta nivritti, means cleansing ourselves of all unwanted things from our heart. And until there is anatta nivritti, the cleansing of everything from the heart, there cannot be nishtha, continuous engagement in remembrance of the 9 processes of devotional service to the Lord. And when there is not that continuous remembrance, there cannot be bhava, which is the actual spiritual interaction, whatever we may say. And then we see rati then develops, whether it is rati. Oh, this is so small.
Oh, I'm so
Adau Shraddha Tata. Oh yes, I'm pretty sure we covered this. We were talking about this very recently. Adau Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangota Bhajana Kriya. Tato Nata Nivritti Syat. Tato Nishta Ruchis Tataha. And Atta Saktis Tato Bhavas. Tata Prema Vyudanchati. Sadhukanam ayam premnaha pradurbhave bhavet krama. This is the tiniest writing I've read for a long time. Smaller than the writing on the pack of the mustard powder, whatever it is we put in the breakfast.
And can you mention the book, please?
I'll read the translation. In the beginning, one must have a preliminary desire. In the beginning, one must have a preliminary desire for self-realization. So Shraddha, faith. This will bring one to the stage of trying to associate with persons. Okay, so Shraddha, then Sadhu Sangha, to associate with persons who are spiritually elevated. In the next stage, one becomes initiated by an elevated spiritual master, and under his instruction, the neophyte devotee begins the process of devotional service. So Sadhu Sangha, then Bhajana Kriya. Okay. By execution of devotional service under the guidance of the spiritual master, one becomes free from the material attachment. So, Bhajana Kriya, Anata Nivritti. Then, one becomes free from material attachment and attains steadiness in self-realization, which is the Nishta. Nishta, then Ruchis Tataha. Then he acquires a taste for hearing about the absolute, so a taste for hearing about the absolute personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. Then this taste leads one further forward to attachment for Krishna consciousness. So atta shaktis tato bhavas, which is matured in bhava, or the preliminary stage of transcendental love of God. Real love of God is called prema, the highest perfectional stage of life. And Adau Shraddha. More Vaishnavas are here. Kala Chand Ji Das.
Are you still on camera?
I am. You maybe saw him pass by behind. You see, by the way, this week I'm also facing west, so you can see the sunrise. But there are some maybe clouds in the sky today, and I can see the full moon while the full sun will appear behind us.
Maharaj, one question. What was the source? What was the book that you were just reading?
Well, I'm finding for it. Adau Shraddha. So it must be in Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's in the teachings, Chaitanya Charitamrita. Madhya Leela.
Rupa Goswami.
Oh.
The Nectar of Devotion.
Rupa Goswami, the Nectar of Devotion, maybe, but I just had it. But why can I not pick it up here? It's Rupa Goswami, Nectar of Devotion. The thing is, Bhakti-rasa-sata Sindhu, Bhakti-rasa-sata Sindhu 1.4.15. but it is quoted in other places. You're necessary to see the Veda base. Let me see whether I can find it here. Krishna, Krishna, Krishna.
Ado Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sango.
Exactly.
Okay. Oh, how to do that?
I'm looking for the word for word. It is here. In Bhagavad Gita as it is, Srila Prabhupada is quoting this. And so he's quoting it in Bhagavad Gita as it is for Bhagavad Gita chapter 4 verse 10 in his commentary. And this is exactly what I read you just now. So this is chapter 4 verse 10 of Bhagavad Gita. In the commentary, then Srila Prabhupada is translating that verse fully.
Thank you.
Okay. Also, oh yeah, again, so it comes up in other places. And the same translation is given in the purport, the commentary in Antya Leela. Antya Leela chapter 3, text verse 251. So but it's not here with the word by word actually, but practically you can get the word by word by seeing the translation which is there. All right. So good Vaishnavas, we have good Vaishnavas here too. So a bit of hard work today to go through that, but it is part of the science of self-realization.
As now you do one class, one sloka, describing the souls.
We'll see. We'll wait and see for that. Oh, Chinmoy Re Prabhu. It's the end. Oh, it wasn't the end of Chaturmasya, no. But it was the end of one of the months of Chaturmasya. See, we're all shaved up. We're all shaved up. The end of our month of Hari Smaran. And we have a devotee called Madhusudan Das Brahmachari in Ukraine. And honestly, he had a big beard, not a little bit. He had a big beard and everything. And then yesterday, perhaps we were doing the Zoom, or day before yesterday, we were doing the Zoom to Ukraine, and whether it's coincidence or not, but the sun was behind him, and it really looked like he was effulgent. It looked like the brightness is coming out of him after he shaved, and big smile and everything, and he was very happy. All right, so lots for us to digest. The main thing to digest is keep our head under the umbrella of Srila Gurudev, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Guru Maharaj. That means under the umbrella of Srila Saraswati Thakur. That means under the umbrella of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Rupa Goswami, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Stay safe from the virus, not this virus that everyone's talking about, the virus of the material world. Stay well from all viruses, but stay safe. Chant Hare Krishna without offense and be happy. Okay, we're going to chant here now. We've got our morning program taking place. Happy to be with each of you. Jivana, have a wonderful day. Make all of your office Krishna conscious by your presence. Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Dandavat, dandavat.